There we go. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another SARPL live show. And tonight it is my privilege to introduce you guys to Rob Daniels. Rob, welcome and thank you for joining us. Hello, can you hear me, Rob? Can you hear me? Rob, are you there?
Hey, Paul, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, now we can hear you. So, welcome so much. Thank you for joining us. We've got Byron on here as well. Byron joined us as well from PE. So, we've got our refs on here. Rob, just give us a quick rundown, your reffing background, just for the guys that don't know you. Just give us a short breakdown of your period in reffing and things like that, please. Can you hear me, Rob? It was working so well just now. Rob, can you hear us?
Hey, if you're talking, I can't hear.
We lost him.
You guys hear me okay?
Now I can hear you. Can you hear us?
No, there we go.
And he's gone. So Byron, while he's getting back on there, so Rob Daniels is currently at the NXL World Cup in Florida. Here we go. Let's see if we can get it on again. Can you hear us now, Rob?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hey, great. Okay. All right. So my question as we started this was, just give us a quick breakdown of your racing experience. Where did it start, and what's your role currently at the NXL World Cup?
Oh my goodness, I'm an old man, guys. I started in 2006. 2004 was my first World Cup. I started playing paintball in '97. So that was my junior year in high school at the time. I went to the first World Cup. One of my most experiences that I realized to date that wanted to turn me into a ref is that I actually saw a lot of shots from outside the net. So I was like, maybe I could do that. I wonder what they do and how they do it and why and what. So what happened is that I emailed PSP for the next 2 years randomly. What I know now is doesn't really go like that. So, but they ended up starting up clinics in 2006, and right before World Cup in 2006 is whenever I got my first start. And believe it or not, I started as a scorekeeper. So my first job was as a scorekeeper. And then in 2007, I continued on with the season and everything. In 2007, I think it was at the second or third event, if I'm not mistaken. That was MAO. So the third event was in North Carolina, I think. And then we had a ref that got injured. So at that time, we had a scorekeeper and a spotter. So if you guys see me like flinching, it's because I have earbuds in. Sorry, they keep on popping out of my ears. So I apologize. So yeah, one of the refs actually got injured. So I kind of took his spot. And from then on, I just knew that that was my opportunity to be able to show off what I wanted to do. And hopefully they would keep me as a ref and I didn't have to scorekeep anymore. Not that scorekeeping isn't important, people, but I just would have rather been on the field at that point in time. So, yeah. And then I got my first head ref spot in 2008. So that was at the Chicago Open in 2008, a year after that. And then ever since then, I did it all the way in through PSP and NXL merger, which I believe was 2014 Dallas was my last event for a little while. And then my son is older now, and he just wanted to come into it. So he's about 15 years old. He's about to turn 16, and he's like, Dad, I really would like to ref with you. I've been around it for a while. I've been with you to all the tournaments and everything like that. So I just wanted to come and ref with you and at least have one experience with you. And that's how I came back. So my current role, I came back as a regular head ref, which was totally fine. I saw some things that needed to be helped out, so I mentioned it to our upper level staff at the time, and he offered me a position, and now my position is reffing and development. So that's what I do. I push out all the clinics. Like whenever I came out to see you guys in 2013, we got a long list of clinics that are going to be going out for next season, and try to keep our ref staff up to par and try to keep everything up to date. So yeah, right now I'm head of refereeing and training development for the NXL.
Awesome. From that perspective, Rob, currently you've got the opportunity to be right there smack in the middle where I think a lot of paintball players here in South Africa wouldn't mind being. And we've seen, obviously, from Go Sports side, you see obviously the main field, but you don't really see much of the rest of the NXL event. And just before we started, you quickly walked around. I wonder if it's possible to just flip that camera around again, that we can just get a view
Absolutely.
of how it looks there at the NXL World Cup.
But let me, if you don't mind, Paul, I'm actually right here by all the pro refs. So would you mind if I introduce you to all of them?
Yeah.
And I'll flip the camera around. So,
Byron,
hey guys,
gonna see if you recognize anyone.
I just want to take a second, and I'm on a interview call with the South African Regional Paintball League. So if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna flip the camera and just say hey to you guys.
There we go.
They're not totally seeing you put a wig on.
Well, say hi from us.
So these are
they already tired after a good morning of racing.
All right, guys. So take it easy. Yeah, we got some characters. So in that group, because it is World Cup, we have a bunch. So I'm actually in the pit area, is a little bit further down that way for the red side of the pro field right now. You can see the red banner. So we're on the red side of the pit field of the pro field. I'm walking out. This is our VIP area. So, but yeah, so like I was saying, within that head refs or the pro refs. So again, the VIP area. So within our pro refs, because it is an NXL World Cup, we have people that travel in. We have 46 right in there somewhere. Like the 46 different countries, is represented right now here at our World Cup.
Sure.
So within that, we have the Europeans, Russians, and everybody that come and help out, because like I said, we have 11 fields running today.
Sure. 11 fields.
Yes. It's awesome.
Byron, we're struggling with one field. How many refs in total do you guys have there for this event, Rob?
How many? What was that? I'm sorry, it broke up a little bit.
How many refs in total do you guys have there?
Must be close to 150.
I'll tell you the total number of refs and scorekeepers. We have 130.
Jeez, you were close, Byron. So, do you guys sometimes struggle as well getting refs together for a big event like this, where you just don't have enough refs to do what needs to be done?
Oh my goodness. It's all hands on deck I'm sorry for the noise right now, guys. I'm walking through the vendor area like you guys could see. So, man, it starts from our very last event that we just got done taking care of, which was ICPL in Chicago. I think that was about a month ago. And 2 weeks prior to that, we had NXL Chicago.
Sure.
So all the preparation goes into that. We also have a WhatsApp group that we could talk with people across the pond like yourselves and see if we could pull refs from all over the place to be able to make this event happen. It's not just, man, it's not just here. It's not just
Yeah.
stateside. So we need all the help we could get everywhere. So
I think Byron, you've been to the NXL World Cup in when was it? 20.
I think 2017.
It was you and Richard that was there in 2017. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
had two of our refs that side in 2017, Rob. Um, so yeah, so we were lucky to send some guys over as well. Um,
awesome.
and from what is the biggest complaints that you traditionally need to deal with at these events? What's the typical things that comes up most?
I mean, whenever it comes down to it, we do this out of passion, right? But everybody wants to get paid. Um, that's probably some of the biggest things. We do our best to accommodate. I think that our rates are really up there. Some of our local leagues can't. Unfortunately, like some of our refs will go to local leagues and just be like, "Hey, man, I get paid this at NXL." It was like, yeah, but again, we're running 11 fields.
Yeah,
So, I mean, sometimes the refs don't understand that, you get paid the amount that you get paid here at the NXL, and then you get paid differently at local events, which if that's what you want to do, I'd rather you do that because then you get a better keen eye and more experience. And then whenever you do come here to the NXL, you're even more prepared.
yeah.
So,
And I suppose with refs that side as well, you typically newer refs, I would assume, start on the lower division fields, and then with more experience, you move up. So, what's the typical criteria to put somebody on a when you typically get the opportunity to ref on the pro field?
okay, so the pro field is a little bit different. I will tell you that. So, okay, so I'll take a book a little bit out of Harrison Fry on this because I was part of that interview. I did join you guys for that. So, the same thing as he was talking about, like players, right? You want to stay within your division or within like a little bit up. So, yeah, no problem. So, yeah, I don't want to say that you start at like the very lower level because you don't. What we
Yeah,
try to do is that we try to mix it in to be able to have like a good ref, a newer ref, a good ref, newer ref, and so on and so forth. And we try to do that throughout the fields so that the experience level is pretty much even across a lot of our fields.
okay.
So I don't want you to think that you're going to come here and then you're going to get stuck on what we call D5, which is our lower division, and then that's all you're going to do because it's not
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. And
So
for people that want to get, what would you say? Um, what are some of the things that's important for a ref um, to have? If to what makes a good ref, if you want to put it that way.
not worry about getting shot. That's the biggest thing.
That's for
I would
sure.
say, yeah, that's one of the biggest things. You got to be able to handle it. Um, I'm a bigger guy, so my lovies, which is called my spare tire, my side bags, whatever you want to call them. There's certain spots on the body that, no matter as a player or a ref, like you're gonna get hit, it's gonna hurt. You got to be able to handle that. You're gonna get hit
Yeah,
multiple times. I'll tell you what. Before we had hand signals, and I tell this story all the time, mostly to my refs that think that they have it hard, is that I counted one day at World Cup is that before we had hand signals and we implemented all that, is that I counted 166 like welts that I could see, like that I was hit. That
sure.
we're not even talking about all the bounce
No,
shots that I took too. So
yeah.
yeah, you got to take it.
Okay. And
The other thing is probably like the heat. I mean, I felt that even out there with you guys too. The
yeah,
dehydration, you need to start hydrating like a week before. We tell our guys to hydrate a week before, whether or not they listen or they don't. But hydration is a huge thing. So if you don't like water, you'll get used to it.
um, I can still remember one of your favorite sayings always when a player came to complain was, "It is what it is." Is that still your one of your sayings?
No, I try to. You know, that was younger Buddha, right? This one is a little bit more insightful now as I've grown up a little bit. Um, I don't necessarily say it is what it is. I try to explain it, but if it comes down to the point where like you're just not getting it, and I'm starting to repeat myself, yeah, it'll come down to that. Unfortunately, I don't. I would like it that you're like, okay, Buddha, I totally get your point, but we both know that never happens. But I totally appreciate the passion to fight for what you want, and that's what I tell my coaches. I was like, because we have that on our semi-pro field, right? Our D1 semi-pro division. Um, Man, last tournament there was a couple things that went on, and I'm just like, nope, bring it on. And that's part of my position as an ultimate off the field rep too, is that I'm here for you. I'm that brick wall or the dog that you want to vent to, that isn't going to talk back until it gets heated, right? So I'll let you talk, but at the same time, we got to take care of our refs and back up our refs. Now, if the refs are wrong and the ref comes up and the head ref tells me that they're wrong, yeah, I got to be that guy and be like, yeah, man, can't really help that one, but that's what happened out on the field, and that's what the refs saw, and that's what they called. So some of it, it's not easy all the time.
It's a
Yeah,
fine line.
Yeah,
look, I
absolutely.
mean, I try and explain to the guys as well as it's um, players makes mistakes, refs makes mistakes. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. Um,
100%.
what would you say? Can you remember a moment in time when you ref where you made the wrong call that costed the game or the tournament or something for a team? Can you remember? Or is there
Can you
Wow, you're
admit?
gonna put me on
Can
the
you admit?
spot like that. Wow. All right. How about this? I'll be the ultimate ref that I am. I will tell you when I realized that I needed to start calling penalties. Okay, so in 2007, of course, I told you guys that I started refing. So I had 3 events after that, and like I always just pulled people. Okay, and I still tell my newer refs to do this. Like I rather you at least pull that body. Okay, so one of the teams got through, and they were giving us a hard time on our field, and whatever. Like you know, here we go, boys. Here we go. Yeah, let's. Yeah, they were giving us a hard time. So you have your. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Sometimes we want you guys to win. Sometimes we don't want you guys to win. But the whole point is that we stay totally like unbiased. So one of the teams got through, and it was a call that I could have made, major call, a major penalty that could have transformed them and either dropped them out or kicked them forward or whatever. I did not make that call at that point in time to be able to like move that point or adjust it or whatever. It would have changed the point of the game, the aspect of it, everything, and they wouldn't have moved on. So I will tell you at that point in time, I have not forgotten that point, and that is whenever I started pulling my penalties because I actually noticed how important my penalties affect the game.
yeah,
To be very specific, it's been a little while to me actually to miss a call that would actually be like on Sunday or like Saturday to push them through, honestly. Because that's a whole nother beast. I mean, we're out here on Thursday, and it's a little bit easier. It's a little bit lax. You don't want to miss your calls, but it still affects it overall. But today is the day if you're going to do it to ease into everything and make it happen. But Saturday and Sunday, that's a whole different beast. You got to be on point.
okay. So Craig Marley from Cape Town is giving you a shout out. If you still remember Craig Marley from Cape Town.
Hey, Craig, what's up, man?
Cool.
Oh yeah, I miss you guys, man. It's been a while since I've been out there, but I haven't forgotten about any of y'all.
So you and me have been talking some big talks or plans for us to host Paintball Super Cup next year down in Port Elizabeth
Right.
over December month, about middle December. So yeah, I said to you, it's been a while since you've been here. I'm sure Byron wouldn't mind some extra company as well. So yeah, so I'm
Do it.
definitely looking forward to hopefully trying to get you out to South Africa again, and yeah, at the same time do some proper ref training again with the guys.
You got
Yeah,
it,
we're
man.
really
Anything you gotta
trying to grow the sport here in South Africa again. It's been a rough few years,
do. Okay.
but yeah, no, it's been fun. And I remember, I think we did. You helped. You did the ref training, and then you refed here in Gauteng. I think we went down to KwaZulu Natal. I think you did
Oh man,
Gauteng.
I feel like you took me everywhere. I
Yeah,
flew into Johannesburg and then we picked me up at the airport, threw my bag in. We drove straight to Durban. I think I woke up and fell asleep like 4 times on that trip. Went from Durban to Port Elizabeth. From Port Elizabeth, I think we went back to Johannesburg, right? Krugersdorp, where you're at. And then
yes,
I think we flew back but we stopped at Bloemfontein, if I'm not mistaken. That was one of our clinics too.
yeah,
And then we went back home, and then we flew down to Cape Town for one more, and then Marcelo met us down there at that time too.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's correct. Yeah, wasn't it? It was J-Rab, wasn't it? Justin Rabakoff that was down
Yeah,
in
that's
Port
when
Elizabeth.
Rabakov was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I know I was there whenever Marcelo was there. It was the last week that I was going to be there because I was finishing
Okay.
off the month there. And then, it was crazy. We had a great time, man.
Yeah. No, so I'm really looking forward getting you out this side again, and then we were chatting, hopefully bringing your son out as well to experience South Africa. So, um,
Oh, man. They put
so
that
I think.
bug in the air, man. He's got my feet to the fire, so you know I'm going to make it. I can't let down the kiddies, you know?
Yeah. So and Byron know all the hot spots in Port Elizabeth, since Byron is from that valley.
My
So
hood.
Awesome.
so he will be able to make sure that we get to the right places. So
Hopefully, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, I got little man with me, so yeah, the right places.
They'll be
yeah.
suitable right places.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, you've got. I'm getting. I know Justin Rabakoff was in PE as well, but Marcelo was there as well. Like you said, it's been so many years, so many different things that we've done to get people here in South Africa grow the sport. The last few years has been really challenging, like I said. But yeah, so I'm hoping to get some fire going under the players again. I see Erika is asking P for Port Elizabeth. So yeah, Erika, we're busy looking at having Super Cup 2022 in Port Elizabeth. Plans are underway. There's a beautiful field going up in PE at the moment. The guys are building a very nice field where we will be able to host the tournament as well. So we're quite excited to do that. Sorry, Rob. I just muted you quickly for a moment there. Your radio was loud. So yeah, so we're looking forward at hopefully doing a Super Cup event in PE. We've been talking to quite a few of the pro players coming out. Hopefully, Rob Daniels will come and join us as well, and hopefully a few international players. Just because it's next to the ocean, will join us as well. About middle December. Schools are closing a bit different next year. It's closing about 14 December. So we're looking at doing Paintball Super Cup 2022, 15 to 17 December in Port Elizabeth. So, Rob, so yeah, I've muted you, so you'll have to unmute yourself. I don't think I can I can unmute you. Look at that. But let me know. So what's the program like for you for the rest of the weekend now with the NXL happening?
Oh man, at this moment, probably fixing Chronos for the rest of my life. That's what I feel like. So, as you guys know, like there's Chronos as a shortage, and we usually have 4 to a field. I'll go on record and say that's not happening right now. So like a lot of the boards, they're not making parts for the boards anymore, so that go inside of them. So a lot of our Chronos are down, but we're doing our best. And I spent the morning fixing those, and like, you know, on the ref side of it, and the head ref and the refs and on the field stuff is like working out great. The problems that we have, like kicking everything off, is like the scoreboards and our systems and stuff like that. Especially last night it rained, so we had a lot of stuff to be able to work out the kinks and dry out everything as it comes out. But it seems to be seeing all my messages.
Every World Cup got something that happens the morning before.
Oh man, it's horrible.
There's always something. Everyone has something that happens that just messes with the mojo.
See, I'm glad you know. So I'm not the only one out here.
I know. No,
Please
you're not the only
believe me,
one.
guys.
I feel your pain.
I think the challenge is a lot of people forget about the players typically realize the on-field game, but there's so much that happens behind the scenes, the preparation before the event, making sure the equipment is working. Like you say, so many things glitches that can happen during an event as well. The Chronos, I heard actually there's a semiconductor shortage in the world or something like that, or
Right, that's
something like that.
chips.
So yeah, so it's absolutely chaos. And if you if we quickly talk about on field, what would be some of the, I don't know if it's suggestions for refs or suggestions for players, but what would you say is some of the key things for players or refs to take note of on field when things start going wrong, or if you're unhappy with a call or anything like that? What's the right approach, if we can call it that?
So two-part question. The thing that players and refs could do together, I could knock that out with one stone very easily. Read your rule book. Read your rule book, people. All right, we have to live by that rule book. So if you come at me and you're complaining about something that's not even in the rule book, okay? So let me put this out there for everybody. This has been back in my PSP days, so I'll go ahead and take this platform to be able to tell everybody. Can you touch players at the end of your point? Yes. Can you rub off hits, or the intent to rub off hits on a player after a point? No. So, like, can you high five each other? And, you know, I don't want you chest bumping, because if you got a hit, then you can rub that off. But high fives and stuff like that, it's okay. It's okay. The other things is, the rule book is one of the biggest things that will help you as a player and ref and as coaches, because I've had multiple times that, you know, some of our upper level coaches, they know the rule book. Like, I have one of my coaches for New England Hurricanes. He's with Semi-Pro. I've known him for years. He used to be with the Prime Camp. Now he's with New England Hurricanes Semi-Pro team. And he literally has his rule book like tagged, you know, like in the office, they have those little tabs on the outside so you know what to flip to, because you know where everything's at. Yeah, that's him. So know your rule book, guys. Know your rule book. And, you know, that's plain and simple. For on the field, man, like, it's simple adjustments. So if I'm going to stand here, and I'll try to back this out, I don't got a selfie stick, I'm not that cool. Is that just a couple steps, like side to side, front to back, will save your life. Okay, just a couple steps. Like, oh my goodness, that Dorito just bumped. I'm gonna move forward. Sweet, he just put a lane right by my butt, and none hit me. So
The
thank
way
you.
you said that, the way you said that, you can tell you're a big oak like me.
Oh yes. Hey,
The way you
I'm
said
glad
that,
he was aiming for my
I
butt.
can also relate. I can also relate because I'm not the smallest oak either. So
Yeah, you can definitely feel it regardless.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
we have to be more aware on a regular basis. We're not that quick.
So,
exactly,
Uh,
exactly.
Positioning is really huge for our refs, and like to be able to catch the angles because we're all about angles. I tell everybody the game of paintball itself is a chess match for players and coaches, right? But um, for refs, I would probably put it in more perspective of like think of us as like pool table, and we're the shooter, and we got to be able to catch those angles to be able to see everything across. So the best expectation is that I want all 5 players in a ref's view, um, to be able to see across the field. You will gain that experience over time. It is not expected whenever you first come on the field, but the more experienced refs can see like from their spot on like say snake corner, and they can look across to Dorito corner at the same time and be able to catch those views. One of the things that I tell people is that I guess I got this from Patch Adams, Robin Williams movie. Love that guy. I put 4 fingers in front of me, and if you put them close, you could see them. You put them further away and try to pass, like look past them, they become 8 fingers, right? So like I don't know, you guys could do that here, but it becomes 8 fingers, and then it just helps you visualize and see everything that help you see those shots. So more specifically, say the snake runner is running to you guys, and you're like that snake 40, and he's running straight at you and about to dive into the snake, right? I want to look over the top of him and see if anything breaks off or if he's even taking any heat at that point in time. Just like a quick view.
okay. So you were talking about the 4 fingers becoming 8. I know of a few people that also have that problem, but that's not from moving from moving it around.
PG.
Anyway, and then one thing that there's quite a lot of discussion about, and since we've got you on the feed, how does the we see quite regularly on the breakout specifically. Some of the players has got either both feet out or whatever the case may be. What is currently the official stance in the NXL with regards to that breakouts? And must both feet be out? Must you have 1 foot in? What's the official the official call?
So the official in the book is that you need it. I'll say that, okay? The official in the book is that you have to have 2 feet in bounds and the barrel touch tip in the touching the front of the bunker. All right. So with that being said, if you have 1 foot out, I will tell this and I'll preach to your clinics if you tell me to. If you don't, I'll change it. At the NXL, I tell at least the clinics that I push is that as long as your first step is going towards inbounds, and then you're good with me. But your barrel tip has to be at least touching the side of it to the front of it. So that'll give that snake runner, that track start kind of thing, which I'm not trying to take away from them. I just don't want them trying to run that tape line down all the way to their corner spot. So I would say correct. And that's where I'm standing. So no. But yeah, as long as they make forward progress, and I like to see it within at least the first 2 steps. But I would say I tell the players first step But if they do it within the first 2 steps, as long as they're making forward progress off the breakout.
Okay. So, Byron, here's an interesting one for you. So we'll see how we gonna manage that for 2022. Um, we're looking at changing things up a little bit. Obviously, with finances being a challenge for a lot of players, and obviously just the cost of
Of
playing
course.
paintball
Yep,
being
not just you.
so we're looking actually at going back to the race to format next year.
Okay.
And just purely because obviously we've seen in the Mercy formats, you have quite a lot of points that can sometimes happen, and you ultimately end up playing that whole game time out, and that can get quite expensive on the paint. So we're
Yes.
hoping with the race to format, I think we're moving to. I think we decided on race to 3 for our
Okay.
higher divisions, because that race to 2 is just a little bit too quick. It's still fine for the lower divisions like D4 or whatever the case would be, um, but for our higher divisions, we're going to do that. Currently, we've got a little bit of a low number of pro teams and things like that. So we actually looking at doing something. I'm just muting you again. Um, we're doing a thing where we next year what we want to try and do is that basically the D4s as well as the pros are going to play in a single open division, if you want to put it that way, just because of the number of teams we have. But what we're planning on doing, depending on the number of teams that we've got, is that the top 4 teams at the end of the prelims will be playing for semis and finals in the pro division, and then 5th to 8th seeded will be playing for what we call plate, or then for the whatever you want to call it. We haven't decided on an official name yet. We'll be playing for that. So that will give the guys the ability to play a bigger variety of teams, because I think that's one of the boring things is every event playing the same teams over and over and over again. So having
Gets a bit
that
stale.
ability to just play different teams and things like that. So that sounds like something that can work.
Oh, absolutely. We do like a couple open formats that are like that. That you just got to integrate it. And I will tell you this, Paul. You're talking about the front half of the rule book, and that's not my world. But all the formats and like seeding and all that stuff. I get those questions all the time. I'm like, that's the
That's
wrong
my
side
problem.
of
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
a me.
real
That's a me
guy.
problem. Yeah.
But I absolutely think that will help, and that'll stimulate the excitement to be able to push that towards your lower divisions. I mean, like you guys have in South Africa, Mexico, Ecuador, all these places that I've been to, they at least take like a local team will take like a pro player, right? And then they'll be able to play it like that. I mean, that's essentially pretty much what you're talking about, to be able to take on higher divisional players for you guys' pro division and go down and play with like some of the younger ones, man.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, like that's so huge, like because I'll be that one guy, a little bit of a fanboy. I mean, I got to meet Marcelo, right? And that was because I was out there with you guys. Throughout my travels in Colombia, I've got to meet like some of the other pro guys that I used to read about, see pictures, Action Pursuit. Like I'll date myself a little bit, magazines and stuff like that. But man, I mean, it has to be for the same thing out there. Like you got your lower division players, and then you see your upper divisions just like rolling through and smashing them. Of course, you got your teams that are awesome, and then you got your players. Craig Marley, maybe. That I'm excited to be able to play with those guys like that. So
Yeah.
It's
I think
experience and
that
exposure.
yeah, absolutely. And those guys will give you a tip that you'll never even know. I mean, just like Harrison was talking about, he's like, yeah, you're going to pay more money for me to come and teach you, but I have a wealth of knowledge, and you're going to get more out of it than what you're going to get if you're just getting it from your local pro.
It's also something that sticks. You won't forget it. It's one of those experiences that you won't just forget it in a year or two. It's something you'll remember.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's coming from that guy, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, do you guys find in the NXL, does players generally like to play in a higher division to improve their skills? Is that or do people try and stick to lower divisions as long as they can?
I want to say, because you guys know it, PBILI, PBLI. I think that's what it's calling itself now. Chris Rell's coming out with names. He used to be APPA and all that stuff. So, of course, guys like me, I'm not ranked. I think I'm like maybe P4. Okay, but like we want to be able to play as low and as long as we want, right? Because that makes us look good. Like we look like superstars.
That's how you know you're a ref. That's how you know you're a ref. You don't have a ranking. That's exactly how you know you're a ref.
Yeah, but you come out there, you start smoking people. You're like, you can't handle this. You know what? I've been watching these moves that I'm trying to make look good right now, for years. So, yeah, and that's a very good point too, Byron. Is that the fact that, like, as a ref, like you're out here and you're watching all these lanes and you're watching all these moves that these players are doing, especially in the upper divisions. Whenever I go and play, maybe not so much now these days, but whenever I was younger and I played those, I'm not hip sliding no more, man. I'm just saying.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
But definitely, back in the day, I used to try to mimic what I saw on the field. I would come off of a tournament like this World Cup, and then I'd go to my local field, and then I would go and practice. And
pop a hip or something.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, River, put your hip back in. So yes, kids, if you guys are listening, you need a ref so you can gain experience, and it gives you more exposure to it, and you can see those lanes, and you're like, ooh, how did you get that in those bounce shots? Refs see that stuff. Other players, so your experience will gain you. It'll help you out as reffing too.
Yeah, you got the best seat in the house.
Absolutely. It really is. Like, I almost missed being on the field. I'm not going to say that. That's only to you guys.
All right. Rob, I'm gonna leave you here. I'm sure you have to get back there to the games as well. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you. I'm really looking forward seeing you back here in South Africa next year.
Absolutely.
Any final words for the guys here in South Africa?
Tell you guys just like I'll tell everybody else, and I've already said it. Read your rule book, people. It's going to save you. Read your rule book. Because I'm coming at you with the rule book.
Cool. Rob, thanks so much.
Rob,
all the best there at the NXL World Cup, and we'll stay in contact.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me, and I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks,
I really
Rob.
appreciate it.
I do know a few of the Oaks there, so I'll have good luck to all the guys there. So have a good World Cup. Hope everything goes smooth, man. Good luck to everyone.
Yeah, well, it's been rocky, but we'll smooth it out. How about that?
You got this. You got this, man.
Yeah, of course. All right, guys.
Cool. Right. Thanks, Rob. Cheers, man.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Bye.
Bye. So that was Rob Daniels, all the way from the NXL World Cup. Byron, does it bring back memories before we finish off this evening?
11 fields. We can't even get 2. I think we tried 3 1 year and we ended up only running 2 anyway. So
yeah, it's
11 fields. This is amazing for those who haven't been there. It's just it's a sight.
Yeah,
it's a sight.
Cool. What would you say that definitely one of your highlights as a ref?
That and Millennium, being able to do Millennium before it moved over. I
Yeah.
got to Millennium, I got to NXL in America, the World Cup's pinnacle. Even if you
Yeah.
don't ref, if you played it, I mean, a lot of the guys have been there, a lot of the guys have done it overseas, but that's where you want to be. Even if you only go there once, it's an experience. That's one of those things you don't forget.
Yeah, I think the guys don't realize the opportunity they've got when every year we've taken over now the SA teams and things like that. Uh, and then obviously, typically when we take over the SA teams, we allow them to play in the divisionals as well. I mean, you're spending that money already flying there, which is one of your biggest expenses. You might as well go full out and get the most amount of games out of it. And just that experience being in a different country, meeting people from different countries around the world, um, rubbing shoulders with a lot of the pro players you typically see um, on Go Sports or on Facebook and things like that, and just walking and being able to actually talk to them at these events is definitely, I think, a highlight for most SA players that's had the ability to go overseas. That's probably one of the highlights for everyone that had that opportunity to. And even for you as a ref, I mean, you've got a similar experience to a degree. I mean, it's definitely a lot harder work. I mean, being on that field the whole day is probably one of the, in my opinion, one of the toughest things to do. But I think at the end of the day, it's still very rewarding being a ref at the event like that. Or what would you say?
It is, if it's something you enjoy. I mean, you look, it's a long day. I mean, the day started, like for a ref, it starts at 5. I mean, you have your meeting at 5 a.m., which I call the boneyard when I was there. So you meet at the boneyard at 5 a.m., and your day ends at 6 or 7 p.m. I mean,
Yeah,
that's when it's done. I mean,
yeah,
the players come on, they play for 10 minutes, and you have an hour break.
yeah.
We go solid for a couple of hours before you get any sort of, then they argue, the players will be like, oh, but you're just standing there. Yeah,
I,
anyway,
yeah,
we could
I
go
love
into
that
this, but
argument.
you're just standing there, you spend all day standing there, but it's not, it's not
There's a
that
lot
easy,
more that,
Yeah,
yeah,
I promise there's a lot more into it than just standing there, you
yeah.
know.
And that split second decisions that you have to make a lot of the times is definitely not easy.
It's mentally and physically draining. It's
Yeah,
it's especially doing. I mean, this World Cup is 4 days, 3 days, 4 days.
four
I
days.
don't know
It
if they
started
started.
today
Yeah,
all the way,
it did start
yeah,
there.
all
Yeah,
the way
so
to
it's
Sunday.
four
Yeah,
solid days. I
yeah,
mean, if you're lucky, if you're not on the pro field, if you're lucky, you'll finish maybe 4 p.m. on Sunday, if you're
mm,
lucky.
yeah,
Um, the other fields, I mean, you don't go till you finish. I mean, obviously they try to finish up as quick as possible, but if you're lucky, you
yeah,
might finish 3 or 4 p.m. I mean, I didn't even get to watch any of the programs when I was there because we
yeah,
finished while the final was actually happening on our field. So it's not
yeah,
all luck, fun and games, but
yeah,
definitely an experience and a different angle and different people, and you get to meet a lot of people with that
yeah.
experience. Definitely.
And it looks like if all goes well, we'll be seeing you at least this year at Super Cup.
Yeah,
We have
if
we haven't
everything
seen
goes
your
to
face in
plan,
a while.
yeah,
So
if everything goes to plan, I should be there. Everybody's asking, I am trying. So yeah, if everything
yeah,
goes to plan, I should be there, and
awesome,
hopefully get things back. So you'll see
cool.
my ugly mug. Well, you shouldn't see my mug, but you'll see me running around.
uh, um, yeah, I think, yeah, Craig Marley even said all players need to ref a full day to know what it's about, and we've seen a few players that's stepped up to the plate to come and ref, and at the end of the day they're like, never again. I just can't do it, or whatever the case would be. But if you haven't refed the full day, um, you don't really know what it's about,
Yeah,
and you might have a different perspective or respect for referees, in my opinion, if you've refed for a full day and you
yeah,
truly know what it's about. And I know, Craig, Craig and them back in
Craig,
the dynamics.
Craig has been around as well, so
Yeah,
just to shout out to him. I mean, Craig knows what it's
yeah,
like. I know
yeah,
he's been reffing. He's been around the world. He knows what it's like. So
yeah,
it's exactly true what he says there. There's guys that everyone's got a comment.
yeah,
But if you haven't done it, one tournament isn't reffing. You got
yeah.
to be in it for a while. I mean, Craig's been there. Craig done that. So shout out to you, Craig. I don't know if you're still on here. I don't know how long that was posted, but if you're still here,
Yeah, no, definitely. And I know for a fact with like Dynamics back in the day when they went to play in the Millennium Series, there was times where the whole team had to ref an event. That was part of sort of the way the Millennium worked back in the day. Craig
yeah,
will probably know more of that than me. So
yeah,
yeah,
that was back in the day. Yeah,
I definitely think we have to do like a live show with some of the classic players, if we want to put it that way, like the Craig Marleys, the Troys, um, and yeah, everything like that. So now Craig is still here. He's like,
oh, he's
much love.
there.
So
There we
thanks,
go.
Craig.
Much love, man. Much love.
So yeah, so we definitely organize a live show with some of our own pro players here in South Africa, the guys that's been around the block, and that we can reminiscent a little bit on the thing like that. So Craig's saying there, yeah, they ref two events.
Yes, sounds
Uh,
about right.
yeah, so
That
they
sounds
know
about
what it's
right.
about. They assisted in the RPL. A lot of the players of the pro players in the beginning assisted as well. It's not something that we want that people want to do and that even players want to do if they don't have to do it. But yeah, shout out and much appreciation to all the players that stepped up to the plate over the years and that was willing to ref. It's definitely not an easy task. So tonight's show was a lot about refing and just giving credit to the refs as well. Also having the opportunity to speak to Rob Daniels, switching over there to the NXL World Cup. So I'm sure people want to watch the live games that's happening at the moment. So enjoy that,
Yeah,
guys. Have a wonderful evening further. Byron, thank you for tuning in as well.
yeah, man.
Looking forward
Thanks,
to
guys.
seeing you at World Cup. Our World Cup, sorry, at
Yeah,
Super
I'll
Cup.
will Super Cup.
A mini cup this year. But yeah, looking forward to seeing everyone there. And remember to sign up. There's still time. Super Cup happening 10 to 12 December this year. Looking forward to seeing you guys at Paintball City. Cheers, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Cheers, guys.